we're essentially an entity that pushes against the woke agenda. And with the woke agenda comes the attack on our natural resources, the whole climate change pushing to net zero. So we counter that. So it was just natural for our organization to be a pushing for more natural resources in Saskatchewan organization.
Sydney Fizzard for Rebel News here in downtown Calgary at the second day of the Global Energy Show. And here in this report, I spoke with Nadine Ness, the organizer behind Unified Grassroots out of Saskatchewan. You might have heard that name before. She was at Rebel News' Regina Town Hall event talking about independence in the province of Saskatchewan. So we got her perspective on the energy industry battles that are happening between Saskatchewan and the federal government, and found out a little bit more about her presence here at the Global Energy Show. What is Unified Grassroots?
Yeah, so we were an organization that got started during COVID. It's kind of a funny story. What was meant to be a meeting at my house of maybe a few parents turned into 850 overnight, just word of mouth, in a Facebook group. And then we grew to 2,500. So during COVID, we were very much against the mandate forcing vaccines onto the population. We weren't necessarily like a protest group. We just were advocating for more change, more influence within government. So then we kind of changed into educating more on democratic processes, how people can get more involved to influence change from inside. And then we moved on to parental rights legislation. So that was one of the things we advocated for as an organization. And then because we're essentially an entity that pushes against the woke agenda. And with the woke agenda comes the attack on our natural resources, the whole climate change pushing to net zero. So we counter that. So it was just natural for our organization to be a pushing for more natural resources in Saskatchewan organization. So we're the antithesis, I think that's the word, the antithesis to the woke agenda. We want to push for more liberty, more natural resources, basically unleashing the potential of Saskatchewan. I'm the founder and president of the organization. I didn't mean to be, it just ended up where, like I said, the way we started, I kind of became the de facto leader, and whether I like it or not, that's what I do.
And obviously we're here in Calgary, Alberta for the Global Energy Show. What has brought your attendance?
I was given an opportunity to pitch our organization for potential funding. I think it's called Rapid Fire, so I had 60 seconds to pitch what we were doing in Saskatchewan to fight for more energy and more resources in Saskatchewan. We're looking to get potential funding for polling in Saskatchewan, and just on Western independence sentiment, also to get a polling on, do you think Scott Moe is doing a good job? Do you think he should be pushing further? What kind of changes would you like to see? So it's just to get a really accurate depiction of where Saskatchewan is when it comes to Western alienation. That was our goal. And I mean, we're probably going to do it anyways. We have received a lot of donations over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So we'll probably have the funds to do it. But it was just to get more funds. We want to do a mail-out campaign as well to the entire province. So anytime we can get donations to go towards that, it'll advance our cause.
And there's an obvious answer here, but what is the purpose behind that? Like what's the benefit going to be after that's resolved?
So some people's idea is independence completely, form a new country. That's not the goal of our organization. We want more sovereignty. We want more energy resource in Saskatchewan. We want more avenues to get our products to market. So long-term wise, if we grow our momentum, if we grow our movement, it sends a stronger message to Ottawa that the West is not going to put up with how they've been treating us. So we're trying to get the word out there that we are here and we exist, that you can join us. And the bigger our numbers are, the more impact it's going to have at the federal level. So I guess let's grow the sentiment. Let's give people a place to have a voice so that we can influence further changes in Ottawa.
And what parallels do you see, let's say in the exhibition zone here, that connect you to Saskatchewan, that you feel like Saskatchewan should be here?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have a misunderstanding that we don't have natural resources or oil and gas in Saskatchewan. In fact, we have quite a lot. It's just we've been, I guess, stifled by the federal government. So it hasn't been developed as much of a potential as it has. So we're trying to kind of advocate for that here in Alberta, I guess. And it kind of ties into the whole sovereigntist movement as well, because a lot of our funding might come from natural resources, business and industry, if they know we're going to fight more for that in Saskatchewan. So I guess it kind of ties in a bit to what we're doing now.
And when you look at the relationship between Premier Scott Moe and Prime Minister Mark Carney, obviously they just had the First Ministers meeting there in Saskatchewan. A couple of days have passed now. Do you think that there's any positive momentum there?
I think there is, in a sense, because the Western alienation or the Western independence movement is growing. I think that in itself is influencing change at the federal level. We're seeing that happening. Mark Carney's talking about things he never would have talked about years ago. In fact, he actually fought against it. Do I think we're going to see actual change? No. I don't have high hopes in that, but we got to give him the benefit of the doubt. At least Scott Moe does. I don't, but Scott Moe does, and I guess we'll see. I like to see action. Words are easy to throw around, but actions are a lot harder to come by. So I'm hoping we're going to see actual concrete things put in place, like more pipelines, more perhaps energy east. But I know he's getting a lot of flack from the east, so I foresee those strings being pulled back, where he's going to try to accommodate the East, Ontario, Quebec more. But he's trying to squash the independent sentiment. And I think it might be working a little bit to some extent with the words that you were seeing from Scott Moe, but I don't think it's going to stay. I don't think his values are going to be able to be squashed enough for him to push for more Western products, Western not independence, but Western energy. So I guess time will tell.
I hope you enjoyed what she had to say. Let me know in the comments what you think about how Saskatchewan should better improve their situation within the global resource economy. For Rebel News, I'm Sydney Fizzard. DoneGettingScrewed.com is where you have to go if you want to see the latest on the Western Province's independence movement. And right now, for a limited time, get your tickets to our Rebel News live event in Red Deer, where we're going to be bringing all parties together to have the conversation that the province of Alberta is looking for when it comes to separation.